Hey guys, got a new video. So today we're going to go over some frequently asked questions about the armor stacker, both the Smite and Lightning Strike. And this time we're going to be tackling PoB, specifically the config settings and all that kind of stuff. So I do get asked a lot, so why is my damage so low? Or I made the build, but I look in PoB and the damage compared to your PoB is completely different than what's going on. So we're going to tackle those issues. And today we'll be using some POBs from my Discord that some of the viewers posted as examples. We're going to go in and fix some of the problems. All right, so let's load up POB. All right, and let's see. So let's import the build. All right, so first off the bat, let's take a look at the hit DPS, 3.2 million. And this is the first thing you have to do with Smite is, if you can see in PoB, he's selecting the Vol Smite, right? And so PoB kind of defaults to having only Vol Smite active. So what you need to do is actually go in and enable Smite, right? So you can see the damage is actually quite a bit different. And so that's actually the main problem with most people when they or their DPS is low, is they're actually looking at the Vol Smite instead of the Smite. Right. Aside from that, there is some major problems in this POB that I don't really know if we have time to go over. But let's just quickly look at some of these things. So let's look at the gear. I think I already looked at this POB and the gear did look very nice. Actually, all the flasks were very nicely rolled. And he has a very nice belt, the perfect grace implicit. The rings were very nice as well. And let's see. So a couple of things that I noticed is that the resistances are very bad. Definitely do need some better resistances. And he's not at 90 all res. So there's a couple of things you need to fix. I guess you can go look into my POB and the armor stacker compendium. But let's quickly go over it in this video as well. So in order to actually get a 90 all res, you do need to have a level 23 purity of ice. So let's take a look at his Purity of Ice. So Purity of Ice needs to be level 21 and socketed into your gloves. You can see he does have it here, so that's very nice. And I don't know why he has the Vitality in his gloves, because the gloves, his gloves had the +2 aura, right? His helmet does not have any +2 gem levels. So there is already some DPS we're losing right off the bat, because you should be having your Determination and your Wrath in here. So let's just see what would happen if we upgraded those. Let's go over to Wrath. Let's give, so this should be level 21, first of all. And then let's give Wrath 2 more levels. Let's give Determination 2 more levels. So right off the bat, it is already quite a bit of a damage increase. After that, I think I did sort of change all of these gems in here to the alternate quality gems. I don't know why there's an Unlightened here. Maybe he's actually using haste as well. Oh, I see. Okay, so he's actually running haste in here as well, so that's nice. If you are going to do that, then I guess, yeah, sacrificing the gem levels might have been worth it. Okay. So after that, let's take a look at the aura effect. So one question I actually got asked too is, how do I check my aura effect? It's very important to know how much aura effect you have, because I mean, you're an aura stacker, right? So you go in PoB, go to the calcs, and you want to select an aura that you don't have any aura effect on your items, right? So if you look at this is giving grace 20% aura effect. So if we actually looked at the grace aura effect, it would be a lot more than what we actually have. So discipline, usually you don't have any discipline aura effect, so I like to look at my discipline aura. You can see the aura effect mod down here and the skill type specific stats, right? So it's at 2.49. So he's at 150% increased aura effect. You start off with ×1, maybe, I'm not sure. Anyways, but this is it. So in order to get to the 90 all res, like I said, we need a level 23 purity, which he does have. And you need 280% aura effect, right? So the best way to get that is going to be on the amulet. You see his amulet didn't have 14%. 10%. So what you can do is you can either get it on a brutal restraint or your amulet, and then he's also not really running full introspection clusters over here, which you should be doing. Something like that, and probably get that. So once you get all your introspection clusters, let's take a look. It's at 2.69. So what you could do is you could just go get another 21 points on your tree with aura effect, right? If you can't find a good brutal restraint or a better amulet. The last I checked, the aura effect tattoos weren't that expensive. It might be at about a divine, 1.5 divines to get all 21. But if you did that, you'd be at 2.8. Actually, no, not even 21. You only need 11. So let's just go actually add those and see what happens to the damage. We are going to lose a little bit of energy shield, but that's okay. At the end of the day, having 90 all res and the extra damage is probably going to be better than having like another 100 or 200 ES. All right, so got some of these here. Why does this say chaos res? Oh, it's because of the tattoo of the dove. All right, let's see, what are we at now? We're at 276, so we need another 4. It's 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Now, as we add the fourth one, oh, okay, never mind. Sorry, guys. All right, so now we're at 2.8, and we did hit the 90 all res. You should definitely get more fire res on this character, because this is with the flask, I believe. So without the flask, he's at 19. Oh, yeah, you definitely need to get better rings. They should be the ruby rings. Yeah, that's kind of rough. Anyways, oh, sorry about that if you heard that. Okay. All right, so this is about, now we're at 8 million. If you remember, we started off with 3.2. So that's basically, how would you say, over double his actual damage if you set up the build correctly. Okay, let me just go D&D. Okay, so if you set the build up correctly, you should be getting a lot more damage, especially try to get to at least 280% aura effect, so you get that 90 all res, get the tankiness. Now, after this, you could probably push the build up to about 11 or 12 million DPS by just changing your gems to like the, let's just say the Divergent Determination. We get the Anomalous Wrath, right? Anomalous Wrath. And then on the Smite, let's just see, that's probably fine. And one thing also you could do, you get the Defiance Banner. And then on your Grace, definitely get a level 21 Grace. Don't know why Leech Slam's in here. You should have the Empower in here. Let's put Empower. So we get the Empower. And then a very cheap upgrade to get is a +2 corruption on your boots. So let's just add that real quick. These are not very expensive at all. All right, so now we hit 9.5 million. And I guess after that, there is the chest corruption. These can be a little bit expensive, but you can make your own. There we go, we're at 10 million. All right, so then after that, it's just gem levels, more aura effect, more gem levels. See, our armor is at 600k. That is pretty normal, especially now that we're using these rage gloves. If we were to be using the Shaper's Touch, we should actually have more, but I guess we are getting rid of a lot of our intelligence. But anyways, yeah, so that is going to be the Smite PoB. Let's take a look at the config again, because there is some things here too. Mainly I noticed that a lot of people don't use the Taunted and Intimidated sometimes, because, I don't know, maybe just forget to put it in. But that is quite a big damage increase, and we do get it for free from the Scion, from the Champion Ascendancy, right? So we get a Taunt and Intimidate, so we can safely check those. See, it is quite a bit of damage. All right, so that is the Smite one. Let's go over to the Lightning Strike. Oh, let me just copy this here again, and we'll import it. Okay, so, and let's see. So this is the Lightning Strike PoB from one of our viewers. And similar to the Smite, we want to make sure we have the right skill selected. So in this lightning strike build, we are scaling the projectiles over the melee hit. Obviously, you are going to be doing damage with the melee hit, but the main damage source is going to be the projectiles. You can see it's at 17 million hit DPS. And so to do a quick calculation of what your damage is, you just add the projectiles to the melee hit, and that's going to be your total damage. And if you want to go a little bit further, then you can actually go in and add the vol portion to it as well. You can do that. And I'll go over doing like a full DPS calculation in a little bit. There's one more thing in the config we need to go over. So projectile travel distance, right? So we're using point blank. Now, if in the config, if you don't set anything here, nothing's going to happen. But if we put 1, you can see that the damage jumps up. So this means we basically on top of the target, right? So I like to calculate it with me on top of the target, so we're getting the full benefit of point blank. If you don't put anything in here, it's not going to really calculate point blank. So I'll definitely put point blank travel distance to 1, because in most cases you are going to be pretty close up to the target, and so you can safely set it to about like 1 or 2 or 3, right? Actually doesn't really make a difference if it's 1 or 3. Anyways, so I like to have it to 1, so make sure you do set that. And let's go over how we can set our PoB up for full DPS. Okay, so this is my current PoB, and you can see in the bottom I do have this full DPS, 130 million. Okay, so this is a little bit different here. Okay, so let's see. Just ignore that for now. I'm still working on this. All right, so you can see in the skills, I do have all of these full DPS calc things. And what these are is they're basically a copy of my main skill. And because I want to simulate the full DPS I'm getting, right? So my first one, this is the one I'm actually looking at all the time. This is only looking at the lightning strike projectiles. And I have include in full DPS. If you check this, it'll add it down here and you'll get this full DPS thing. Okay, after that, I also want to see the melee hit. So I have another one here that you can see it's looking at the melee hit. And I also have this only lightning strike enabled, and I have it included in full DPS. So it adds the lightning strike melee hit over here. All right, after that, we go to the vol. So I want to see what my damage looks like with the vol, or times 2 vol, because you can save up 2 of them, right? So in the ideal, this is like, I like to look at the ideal situation, like what is the burst DPS when I have everything popped, the vol haste, the berserk, the totem up, everything. I just want to see what the maximum DPS of my current character is. Now, granted, you probably won't be getting this number all the time during gameplay, but this is just kind of how I got used to measuring my character's progression based on the maximum, right? So I guess that's kind of how I do it. Anyways, so we got the vol part here. Now this is looking at the vol lightning strike projectiles, and I have enable count 2. So this is going to count 2 of them. So we have 2 over here, and then it adds it all up for you to about 130 million. And this Commandment of Fury, if you're wondering what this is a glove enchant you can get. So this glove enchant is it does fire damage, but it's a projectile and it gets a lot of your scaling. We look at the calcs. So it's getting tons of added lightning damage, basically. Anyways, so you can get this for some extra damage. But so yeah, that's lightning strike. Not the same things kind of apply to Smite as well. You want to make sure that you have the taunted, intimidated, and all that kind of stuff. If you have frenzies, add the frenzies, and all that kind of stuff. If you have the forbidden flaming flesh, you can add tailwind. I like to do a shock value of only 10, although I'm actually shocking for like sometimes up to like 30-35%. But just to keep things simple, I always keep it at 10. And then this over here, projectiles deal 40% more damage. So what is this? Basically, this is to try to simulate the return projectiles, because the projectiles return and they do this hit again, right? So, but they deal 60% less damage. So I figured you could add 40% more damage to kind of maybe just like guess the damage. But I don't really think this is ideal. If someone knows a better way to actually calculate this, put it in the comments. That'd help me out a lot. But that's what this is. You can take it off if you don't really want to have these kind of custom things and just don't want to calculate the return projectiles. But then again, why would you use the return projectiles if you're not going to put it in PoB? But anyways, so I think that'll be it for this video, guys. Hopefully you this answered some of your questions about how to set up your PoB for these armor stacker characters. And yeah, if you got any questions, any other questions, put it in the comments. And if we get enough, then I will be making a separate video, I guess, to answer those, or I'll get back to you in the comments. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Oh yeah, and don't forget to sub and like the video. Yeah, see you next time.